Hello everyone. In this recording, I will talk about the last theorem of the probability. The question says that we have a manufacturing process that is either 3D printed or injection molded. These injection molded parts and then 3D printed parts, some of them are defective and some of them are good. The question says that it is claimed that the type of manufacturing affects the number of the defective products. So what it means is that if something is 3D printed, it may have more defects than if something is injection molded or the vice versa. But the quality team says that we have to check using probability theorems, and then we can be sure that yes, it is true or not. So just looking at numbers is not enough to say that it is dependent or not. So let's start the first. What we are trying to prove is that we are trying to prove that the possibility that something is defective. Okay. Is it equal to the possibility that something is defective after 3D printing? Okay, so let me say you what it means. First part says that the first one says that what is the probability, let's say, probability that any selected product is defective. This is the first left-hand side that tries to answer. What is the probability that any selected product is defective? The right-hand side says that what is the probability that any selected but 3D printed part is defective. So if I randomly select a part but 3D printed part, what is the possibility that it is defective? So if they are equal, if these two are same, so we can say that being 3D printed does not affect something being a defective. If this proportion is the same, the probability. If this is not equal, then we can say that if they are equal, then it means that they are not dependent. So it doesn't mean that it is 3D printed, it will be defective. More defective, actually. So let's check if it is true or not. Okay, let me add it here as well, so you can understand it better. So if equal, so what it means is that 3D printing does not affect the number of defective parts. Okay, this is what it says if it is equal. So in other words, you can say that being 3D printed and then defective are independent. Some product, it may be defective or not 3D printed. It may be 3D printed, not defective. So it means that 3D printed and the defective, they are two independent events. They don't affect each other. Let's check if it is true or not. Let's first start from the easiest one. What is the probability of something being defective? Let's do that. Probability that something is defective. So let's go back. How many defective products do we have? 40 here and 60 here. Total we have 100 defective products. And then how much is the total product? How many products do we have? 100 plus 125. We have 225. Okay, and this is the possibility that something being defective. So if I divide it 100 by 225, it makes 0.44 or 44%. So we can say that any selected product, there is 44% chance that it is defective. This is the first part. Now let's look for the something being 3D printed as defective. Something is defective but 3D printed. Okay, so then I can call this one as A to understand how can I use the formula, and this one as a B. If I go back to formula, so what we said is that the P, A, and then B. So in my case, it will be that P, B times P, A given B. Okay. So in my case, A and the B multiplied with the possibility of B. Okay. And then this one will be equal to the A and the B. This is how I use the formula. Okay, you just play with the formula. So A in our case is, or you can say B to make things simpler. For example, you can call this one as B, not to make things complex. You can, for example, call this one as B and then call this one as A. Okay, as you can see, so if you multiply this one as the possibility of the B, A, and this one will be equal to the possibility of A and the B. This is the part that we are trying to find, but we can find the other parts. We can find PA. PA means that P 3D printed. What's the possibility that any selected product is 3D printed? How many 3D printed products we have? We have 40 and 50. We have 90 3D printed parts. How many total products we have? We have 225. And then what is the possibility that something being A and the B? A means for 3D printed, and then B means defective. Okay, what's the possibility that something is 3D printed and then defective? Being 3D printed and defective is 40. We have just 40 parts. And total is 225. Okay, then using these formulas, these results, then we can find something is defective and then 3D printed, and it will be equal to, so we have the 40 by 225 and then divided by 90 by 225, and then this will be equal to 40 by 90. Okay, and if I check it, 40 by 90, it is 0.444. P defective and then 3D printed is 0.444 or 44%. So as you can see, being 3D printed did not affect being defective. So if I select any random product, that it is defective is 44%. But if I select any 3D printed product, that being defective is again 44%. So as you can see from this result is that being 3D printed does not affect the number of the defective parts. So they are looking like two separate events. But you can go further and then you can check the. So here what we did is that we checked that something is defective, and also is it equal to something being 3D printed and defective. So then you can check something is 3D printed, is it equal to something is 3D printed from defective parts. So what it means is that any selected product that is possibility that it is 3D printed. Okay, is it the same as any selected random product, random defective product So possibility that it is 3D printed. Here you can check this one as well, and then you can make sure that this is true or not, this is equal or not. If it is equal, what it means is that any product that you select is 3D printed. Any product from defective ones you select and you look for how many of them are 3D printed. If they are equal, then it means that it does not affect defective products anymore. So that they are two independent events. Okay, you can check this option as well to see that they are equal or not. Okay, the next part is I will talk about in the next recording.